CAR Caribbean Auto Resource, located at 5270B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. We have a program built for tax time. Our program includes $500 minimum down payment, cash or trade-in. Qualifies after 30 days on the job. $1,600 minimum income. Units up to 13-year-old. Mileage up to 150,000. Yes, everyone's approved. That's Caribbean Auto Resource. Once again located at 5270B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. You can contact us by phone at 954-399-3787 or 954-557-9907. Don't forget about our referral program. Refer a friend and earn from $50 up to $200. Yes, it's true. I ask these questions a lot of times, so if you have been wondering, yes, we finance people who don't have a driver's license. Beacon score does not matter. One of my dealers closed a deal on the 383 Beacon. Good credit, bad credit, any credit, you're approved. Don't ask me how they do it. Just know that it's done. It's Caribbean Auto Resource. Call them today and you'll be driving in minutes. It's time to stop dreaming and start driving.
Out of my dreams. Get into my car.
Hi, I'm Nigel Blair, studio host for FLEXX FM Sports, coverage of CASA, Caribbean America's Soccer Association League. Don't forget to subscribe to watch highlights all season long and to be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on FLEXX FM Sports for live coverage of all matches. That time of year, it's tax time. Do you know where to get your taxes done? Don't worry, Blair's Management Tax and Accounting Services is the place for you. This is Nigel Blair. With over 26 years of experience in the tax and accounting field, we have what it takes to prepare your taxes the right way and to make sure you take advantage of all your tax deduction and all your tax credits and get you back the maximum amount of refunds possible. So don't delay. Call us today at 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700.
It's time for Caribbean News, covering current events from around the world, regionally and locally, with Sean Garrity on this station. It's news the Caribbean can use. And now, the details. Guyana gives energy investors one condition: the region must benefit. Guyana's President, Dr. Mohamed Ifran Ali, has made it clear his intentions to ensure that regional and local players are chief beneficiaries of the country's growth in the energy sector. He was addressing the opening of Guyana's 2022 International Energy Conference. Guyana is seen by its locals and neighboring territories as a land of opportunity with valuable natural resources, including forests, rare earth elements, and of course, oil. President Ali shared statistics about these resources' value. Unfortunately, he says, oftentimes investors overlook these resources, even though they could greatly assist the economy. In response to a journalist's question about the threat that involvement in oil and gas poses to Guyana's firm stance on climate change and the environment, Ali said, "Guyana existed long before oil and gas discovery. Why have we never been recognized?" President Ali's apprehension about global recognition did not stop him from welcoming investors to be part of the development of these natural resources. His open door policy for investment in the energy sector is evident in the recent relationship between Guyana and one of the world's largest publicly traded energy providers, ExxonMobil. Haiti asks donors to help fund $2 billion earthquake rebuild plan. Haiti began a donor conference on Wednesday to raise some of the estimated $2 billion needed for reconstruction in its southern peninsula after an earthquake that killed thousands of people. The 7.2 magnitude earthquake that struck near the city of Lacaille in August, leveling buildings and destroying roads near the area of Lacaille, in a devastating blow for a country still reeling from the murder of President Jovenel Moïse. Prime Minister Ariel Henry asked multilateral groups and foreign representatives, many of whom will participate virtually, to help to pay for rebuilding of schools, hospitals, and roads that were damaged by the quake. The United Nations said on its website that Haiti is seeking to obtain $1.6 billion of the $2 billion needed, adding that the quake disrupted the lives of some 800,000 people and crippled services to a large part of rural Haiti. In entertainment, Shenseea is up next on Apple Music, dancehall star set to perform on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Jamaican dancehall star Shenseea has been selected by Apple Music's editorial team for its Up Next program, the streaming platform's monthly initiative aimed at identifying and showcasing and elevating rising talent. As part of the Up Next campaign agenda, the Good Comfort artist will make her late-night TV debut with a performance on Jimmy Kimmel Live on March 3rd. "I'm so excited to be chosen as an Apple Music Up Next artist," Shenseea said in a release sent to Dancehall Mag. Shenseea, whose real name is Chin C. Lee, joins the likes of stars such as her compatriot Coffee, Stefflon Don, Daniel Cesar, Her, Megan Thee Stallion, and Burna Boy, who have been selected in the past for promotion by Apple Music, which says it will utilize the full force of its platform to raise awareness of Shenseea to its growing global audience of music fans. In business, Samsung Electronics unions threaten first ever strike. Unionized workers of Samsung Electronics have threatened what would be an unprecedented strike at the tech giant if their demands for higher pay and better working conditions are not met. Emma McCarthy reports from Reuters.
Unionized Samsung Electronics workers have threatened what would be an unprecedented strike at the tech giant if their demands for higher pay and better working conditions are not met. Union representatives held a rally on Wednesday near Samsung's headquarters in Seoul after government arbitration broke down earlier this week. They're calling for wage gaps among employees to be narrowed, more paid leave and better health benefits. Union officials sought a direct meeting with the company's top management. The potential impact on the company's operations is not clear, as the largest of the four unions, the National Samsung Electronics Union, has roughly 4,500 members. That's about 4% of employees in the country. Samsung Electronics said in a statement, quote, "The company continues to engage in dialogue with the unions and is making every sincere effort to come to an agreement."
In sports, India wins first T20 international by 6 wickets. Hosts India picked up from where they left off in the ODIs with a 6-wicket win over the West Indies in the first T20 international at Eden Gardens at Kolkata. Sent into bat, the West Indies made 157 for 7 off their 20 overs. Chasing 158 to win, the Indian team reached the target inside of 19 overs. Rohit Sharma made 40, Ishan Kishan 35, Shraya Yadav 34, and Venkatesh Iyer 24. And in your Palm Beach weather, a 30% chance of showers mainly before 8 a.m. Mostly sunny with a high near 79 with breezy conditions from the southeast at 13 to 16 miles per hour, gusts as high as 21 miles per hour. Then at night becoming partly cloudy with a low around 68, southeast winds 7 to 10 miles per hour. And down in Fort Lauderdale, a 20% chance of showers before 9 a.m., mostly sunny with a high near 80 degrees. Breezy with a southeast wind 11 to 17 miles per hour with gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. And then at night it's partly cloudy with a low around 71, southeast winds 7 to 10 miles per hour. And that was the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity. Be sure to stay tuned to this station for more news from around the world, locally, and the Caribbean.
Hi Flexers, welcome to Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth, right here on FlexFM.online. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. Don't forget, it's The Naked Truth Talk Show, the show that brings the truth to the front line.
If I want thing, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family, I me say family.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction and we are prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in the palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner. Yes, I'm the winner.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
Hey, it's your boy TC Flex representing Flex FM.
We're the survivors.
World Premiere Wednesdays. World Premiere.
This is a tribute to Sister Rita Marley. Oh, cha-cha, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. Rastafari, Forces will fight, will be defeated. Black man unite. Too long separated. Walk into light and do Jah will now. Just shining light. Prophecy fulfill, yeah. To each his own. To each his own. To everything there is a season. Rastafari knows everything. My friend, Ajah, ooh, yes, Ajah. Yes, now I am man knows everything. My friend, Ajah, ooh, yes, Ajah. Evil eyes, they penetrate high. Oh, bad looks, don't mean you hate high. Slippery road, can't show one down now. But heavy load, I'm Zion bound. Oh, Waterloo, everybody got to meet their Waterloo. If you dig one pit, well, you better dig two. One for your brother, yes, and one for you. If you set one trap, well, you better set two. One for your sister, yes, and one for you. Hey, you all evil eyes, they penetrate your bad vibes, don't mean you hate slippery road, can't throw one down now, but heavy load, I'm Zion bound, Rastafari, everything, I pray, Ajah, ooh, yes, Ajah. Yes, now I am man knows everything. My friend, Ajah, ooh, yes, Ajah. Forces will fight, they'll be defeated. Black man unite. Too long separated. Walk into light and do Jah will now. Just shining light. Prophecy fulfill, yeah. Oh, judgment day. Oh, judgment day. Every day is just another judgment day. Rastafari, everything. I pray, Ajah, oh, well, Ajah. Yes, I am man knows everything. I pray, Ajah, oh, well, Ajah. Yeah, Ajah, oh, well, Ajah. Yeah, oh, well, Ajah. Yeah, Ajah.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, that is Liz Tomlinson, our world premiere winner for last week. And of course, she's been reigning all through last week into this week. I want to say maximum respect to those of you who currently got it locked in. You already know you're locked into lunch with TC, the Naked Truth, ladies and gentlemen. Today, my special guest is Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, with the honor of distinction. It's good to have some of the persons, the unsung heroes, ladies and gentlemen, that help to contribute to the business that we're in, which is entertainment business, and some of those behind the scene person that works so hard in propelling our culture, our music to the forefront of the world. But you have never seen or heard of them. They're just low key. That is a good habit. I tell you, boy. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching us live on YouTube, FLEXX FM Production. You're watching us live on Facebook, FLEXX FM Radio. You're watching us live on FLEXXFM.online. You're watching us live on Twitch. So we're live on several different platforms at this time, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, with that being said, I'm asking you to share the link with a friend, a family member, someone who you know that would enjoy this program today. Now, it's Reggae Month / Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. And we are talking with those persons who, in our opinion, that we think contribute greatly to not only Reggae Month, but also Black history. What does this month mean to you? For me personally, it means more than just a month. It's the life that we live, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're 10 years old, that means if you're 10 years old, ladies and gentlemen, that means you have been 10 years into this thing. So out of the 10 years, only 10 times you celebrate Black history. It should be celebrated every day. For real. Every day. And every opportunity that we get to sit and talk with some of those individuals who help to change history, who help to reshape our future, ladies and gentlemen, we take it. Yes, indeed. All right, so today my guest is Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, and I'm going to give you a little bit of history about our guest today, so you know that this person is no stranger to the business. This person is no stranger to our culture. This person is, hey, listen, as old as Jamaica independent is, this is how this man's career, this is how old this man's career is. Trust me. Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, the man behind Reggae Stars. Get it? The man behind Reggae Stars. Now, I tell people this all the while. A lot of people go around and you see the face Bob Marley and everybody hear the name Bob Marley. But there was more to Bob Marley now. There was another part called the Wailers that consists of the I-Trees, that consists of Peter Tosh, Bunny, that consists of the brother who do the percussion, the brother who play the horns, the bass, the drums, the brother who actually do the shaker. The man you see with the shaker make a world of difference in those musical compositions that goes on for Bob Marley and the Wailers. And when that person sit there and shaking that shaker, it makes a difference. So we have to give people like those credit to as well. And this is what we don't do. Those are who we call the unsung heroes, ladies and gentlemen. The ones that we only see the front man, but we don't look at the people and behind the scene. You know what I mean? That help to make this possible. The engineers inside the studio, like Mr. Lee Scratch Perry, one of whom who work, you know what I mean, closely with Bob in his early career. Now, Mr. Copeland Forbes. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little background history of Mr. Forbes, OD. The man behind Reggae Stars, ladies and gentlemen. Jamaica's most prolific global tour manager, artist manager, and reggae historian, Mr. Copeland Forbes has single-handedly put Jamaica on more maps internationally than Jamaicans dignitaries have done since the country gained independence from the British in 1962. This renders Mr. Forbes to be among some of the most powerful and esteemed statues in the reggae industry today. Yes. No. Mr. Forbes has continued to be the driving force behind the globalization of reggae music for over 55 years. We embrace this genius of a man as Jamaicans Christopher Columbus, not for conquering new countries, but for introducing reggae and the Jamaican culture to the world, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So they hail him as a Christopher Columbus of reggae, so to speak. Not for conquering new territories, new countries, but, ladies and gentlemen, for introducing reggae and the Jamaican culture around the world. Now, you name the artist, ladies and gentlemen, has passed through the hands of Mr. Copeland Forbes. Mr. Forbes, a truly magnificent, multifaceted man. He began his musical career in 1962. I told you that it's as long as Jamaica got their independence, because it was 1962 when Jamaica got their independence. Maybe it's even longer. Jamaica got their independence in August 1962. Maybe his career started in January of 1962. Who knows? But we'll find out later on when we get to sit and reason with Mr. Copeland Forbes. Now, he started out his career in 1962 with the Harmony Cats, a very successful group that performed at corporate functions across Jamaica. A few years later, he debuted his dancing career. What a thing. Mr. Forbes was a dancer. Ladies and gentlemen, with the new group he formed, the Coasters, at Club Sombrio, appearing with the Mighty Vikings band, his dancing career evolved into the most illustrious and rewarding opportunities, ultimately landing him his first of 4 movies he acted in. So, his first of 4 movies that he acted in. Ladies and gentlemen, the first being The French Connection. Who remember that movie? I remember that movie. That movie starred Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider, which won 5 Academy Awards, followed by Groove Tube, Goodbye Baby, and 40 Carats. Those are some of the films that Mr. Forbes appears in, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes. Now, this also landed him a spot on a popular TV program, ladies and gentlemen, that was showcased here in the US at the time, called Soul Train. Following this success, he turned his passion for his country and reggae into one of the most distinguished artist manager and tour manager career in popular music. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy that we talk about here, I've been there, I've done that. This man that we talk about is no stranger to some of the greats that have done it. During his exceptional career, this reggae music pioneer, who was once mayor of Kingston, wow, a Queen Scout who has attained the Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award, has met and traveled with such royalties as HRH, Princess Margarita, I can't forget her, I think she's the one that came to Jamaica back in the days, and Lord Snowden, HRA Queen Elizabeth, the Queen's mother, HRH, the present Queen Elizabeth, the second Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, Secretary General of the United Nations, Utan Prince Constantine, who later became King Constantine of Greece, and His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie during his visit to Jamaica in 1966. That means this man has been functioning in the music business, rubbing shoulders with some of the most influential persons around the world, still remain humble up until this day. Ladies and gentlemen, trust and believe me, during his over 55 years of his music fraternity, Mr. Forbes worked with the capacity of tour manager, tour coordinator, road manager, and personal manager, and also guided the career of reggae international superstars. The Wailers in 1973 to 1974, the Mighty Diamonds, Black Uru, Third World, Gregory Isaac, Marcia Griffiths, Peter Tosh, John Holt, Luciana, U. Roy, Sly and Robbie, the I-Trees, Jimmy Cliff, Andrew Tosh, Dennis Brown, Frankie Paul, Girlstone Band, Livewire Band, Light Parks and We the People Band, Barry Salmon, Freddie McGregor, Shaka Demos and Pliers, Maxi Priest, Sugar Minor, Junior Reed, Muta Baruka, Fela Kuti, and King Sonny, and those are from Nigeria, Sizzla Kalanchi and Burning Spear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't exhaust the list as yet. That's just a skim of some of the artists that Mr. Colin Forbes, OD, has worked with. That's a mighty long list. Mr. Forbes has taken a lot of superstars on their median tour. Barry Salmon, Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, the Mighty Diamonds, the I-Trees. Working with these talents have afforded Mr. Forbes the opportunity to not only socialize with royalties and heads of state, but to be present at some historical event in the music world. Some of the most, listen, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about some of the concerts that we will never ever leave us, and these concerts and these artists are what makes our culture what it is today, recognized around the world, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have to have a body, and you know, it's every organization have a body. You have to have like a PR person, you have a secretary, you have a treasurer, you have a vice president, you have a president, and so forth, right? All right. So, Mr. Favre has been instrumental behind some of these concerts, these historical events, ladies and gentlemen, that we will never forget, that help to make we celebrate. When we're celebrating Reggae Month, we can always reflect and go back to some of these concerts, such as Bob Marley and the Wailers Smile Jamaica concert in 1976 after the attempt ambushed by gunmen. You remember that? Yes, I think that was the time when he put the two prime minister hands together. The historic One Love Peace concert at the National Stadium in Kingston, Jamaica in 1978. Peter Tosh toured with the Rolling Stones in the late 70s. Tosh tour of Australia and Switzerland in 1983. Jimmy Cliff historical concert tour of South Africa and Brazil in 1980. Imagine you being on the road like this. I can't imagine this man's personal life unless the whole family are tour with him. Now also, Black Rule World Tour, ladies and gentlemen, in 1980 and 1984, Sly and Robbie the Taxi Gang Tour, 1986 and 1988. Reggae Sunsplash Africa, that's the African Tour in 1988. President Obama inauguration in Washington, D.C., that's January 2009, just to name a few. Yes. And that's just to name a few, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Mr. Forbes has been the recipient of over 100 international awards since entering the music fraternity in 1962. Ladies and gentlemen, I can only imagine the accolades that this man holds. Hence why they have to give him the honor of distinction. So when we call this man, we have to call him with respect. Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD. Yes. Now, he has been a recipient for over 100 international awards, ladies and gentlemen. And that's international award. Now, don't even talk about locally. Entering the music fraternity in 1962, most of the Martin's International Award and the International Reggae and World Music Award for his contribution to reggae music and his country. In June 2011, he was awarded the Toronto International Jamaica Day Legend Award and the Ottawa Reggae Festival Lifetime Achievement Award by two Canadian organizations. So, Canada and you don't know. In 2016, Mr. Forbes was presented with the citation by the city of Hartford, Connecticut, in appreciation of his distinguished service and outstanding contribution in the music fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Now, in 2017, Mr. Copeland Forbes was awarded a National Honor, OD, Order of Distinction, Officer Class, ladies and gentlemen, for outstanding contribution in the development of Jamaican music. Yes, and that was in 2017. So it's not too long ago that he has gotten that. Now, in July 2018, the inauguration of the Reggae Sumfest Hall of Fame, Mr. Forbes was presented with Inspired Award and inducted in the Reggae Sumfest Hall of Fame. In February 2019, Reggae/Black History Month, which what we're celebrating right now, Mr. Forbes was amongst the recipient of the National Gold Award presented by the Ministry of Cultural, Gender, Sports and Entertainment for outstanding contribution in development and evaluation of 50 years of reggae, 1968 to 2018. Mr. Forbes continues to be the driving force behind the staging of some of the most historical events in Jamaican music, or should I say in Jamaican music history. The summer of 2012 was the highlight of Jamaican Golden Anniversary celebration. Mr. Copeland Forbes was one of the main organizers of this very successful and talked about Jamaica 50 Respect Jamaica concert series. Now, to celebrate Jamaica 50th anniversary of independence, the 14-day concert series was staged in tandem with AEG Live Ltd. Now, I think this was in London, ladies and gentlemen, Greenwich, London. And imagine, at least, you know what? Reggae music have its place in England. Because I think that was the second place reggae was known for while it was bubbling in Jamaica before the rest of the world started to gravitate to it. England was the place for even Jamaican artists to look forward to going. Yes, before they start touring Africa and all those places, England accepted reggae music long before many of those other countries. And that's not an opinion, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they call a fact. Mr. Copeland Forbes was one of the main organizers behind the staging of events to celebrate reggae queen Marcia Griffith's 50th anniversary celebration. The much talk about Marcia Griffiths and Friends concert series at the 2014 staging of the Jamaica Jazz and Blues Festival at the Multi-Stadium in Trelawney, Jamaica. The 2014 staging of Marcia Griffiths and Friends at Groovin' in the Park outdoor concert in Queens, New York, which broke attendance record at the park with an attendance of over 30,000 patrons, a Guinness Book record for Roy Wilkin Park, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man. Trust me. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this man break the Guinness Book of Record. Wow. I really don't know how much more to explain. But let us continue to learn more about some of our unsung heroes that we don't see at the front of the stage, but always behind the stage. In April of 2015, Mr. Forbes, along with Minister of Culture, Sports and Gender, Miss Olivia Bobbs-DeGrange, and her team were the main organizers of the first Abbey Reggae Music Festival and Conference held in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, that's in Africa. Yo, this African name is like a tongue twister. For real. Abidjan. You have to roll your tongue on some of those things. But I guess some girl can do that better than I do. That's in Ivory Coast, Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is the next place where I would think that reggae music becomes such a popular place. So it's been the London spot now, because before even, I think Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, Third World, just name a few of the bands, you know what I mean? Chalice, Inner Circle, they take the music to the motherland, Africa, where African promoters now start to book these bands to come to the continent and to get a piece of the culture that was taken to Jamaica, reshuffle, and bring it back home. So I would say from England to Africa, then when it becomes the dancehall thing, Japan taking precedent because Japan started to keep sounds, the Japan Splash now and all these things. Some of which we have showed you some concert at the Japan Splash yesterday. Yeah, if you were watching FLEXX FM that online, you would see somewhere around 3:30, we were actually showing you some concert series that we say we took from the vault. And those were like Japan Splash, where you have Tiger make an exceptional, he did an exceptional performance. I'm quite sure probably Mr. Forbes was there too. And Ninja Man did another exceptional performance, Papa San, Stitchy. And of course, That was prominent. A lot of artists used to look forward to traveling to Japan at a certain time of the year to do the Japan Splash. So it's like we would have some splash, they have Japan Splash. And what they used to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you this. This is what used to happen to our artists and the business and all. This is why I thank persons like Mr. Forbes who keep it on that tight grip. So it don't get away that other nation take it and make it their own. So you used to have a thing called Japan Splash in Japan. And they used to, every year, they used to book the artists, them like the Ninja, the Tiger, the Shabba, the so and so. And then, all of a sudden, just like the knockoff Louis Vuitton, and the knockoff Gucci, and you know Japan do them thing already. Yeah. Right now, if you have a BMW, there's a knockoff one in Japan. Did you know that the Japan promoter them now stop book our artists because them have a Japanese artist who sound like Tiger, who sound like Shabba, act like Shabba. It's like them sitting down and say, yo, study this artist. And the Japanese them come out and they react just the same as if it's Shabba. So now them say, we don't really need them artists then. We're good. No, seriously, that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen, in a real life. So Japan Splash now, because it doesn't have the authentic Jamaican artist them. It watered down. It did have to water down. Because you did have people start to travel to Japan, just like how people used to travel to Jamaica for Sunfest and Reggae Sunsplash. Yes, you people used to travel to Japan just to see the Jamaican reggae artists them perform. But when them realize that the Japanese them perform, the people them just stop go there. So that did have to flop. It had to flop. There's nothing else they could do, ladies and gentlemen. So, saying that to say this, you would have to take a promoter or a show organizer or artist management like Mr. Forbes to go in association with the Japan Splash organization to carry that off the right way, to get the acts them come in and perform at a price, of course, because sometimes they do these things because of the funding. That's why they do these things sometimes, because they can't afford for carrying Bob Marley and the Wheelers, so them just want Bob alone. And you know Bob Marley not going nowhere without his band. You must have heard that or seen that documentary where Africa, there was this king in Africa that his daughter wanted to put on a show, and Bob is his favorite artist. Excuse me. Bob is his favorite artist, ladies and gentlemen. And he wanted to put on this, she wanted to put on this big show, birthday show for her father. And they tried them, water it down, say, boy, we don't have enough funding, but we'll get, see if we can get Bob alone. Bob said, no, don't worry about it. I now left my wheelers. If it even mean me will pay for the equipment, them come and thing, we'll do that. But me now come by myself and I saw me work. I would wish and hope that artists today take the same stand where the business is concerned. This is why you have to give this man so much credit, because he never watered down the business. And he could have. I have seen great groups come out of the country, and because a promoter, I go say, I don't have enough money to pay everybody, you know, but I know you're the lead singer and I can pay you. And then him take the show behind the rest of the man them back. No loyalty none of that, bossy. No loyalty is in that. What I honestly think is that these guys should take a page from the Wheelers them book. Yeah, this man now go without him banned. And sure enough, rightfully he didn't. So, hey. For real. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, with concert like this in April of 2015, Mr. Fab, along with the Minister of Agriculture, Sports and Gender, Mrs. Babsy Grange, they organized a concert, and this concert was in the Ivory Coast of Africa. The 4-day event featured some of the finest reggae entertainers. Now, Also, they take some of the entertainers from the continent of Africa and Jamaica, and some of the headliners were, can I go on? Some of the headliners, ladies and gentlemen, were Third World. Big man, you know. Big man. Some people put some respect on the name, the Third World, for real. Marcia Griffiths, Kimani Marley, Judy Moyd, dub poet Muta Baruka, Alpha Blondie, Morgan Heritage, and the 809 Band, just to name a few. Now, more greatness of this living reggae legend is yet to come, while the world anticipate the release of his long-awaited and overdue autobiography, ladies and gentlemen, called Reggae, My Life Is. And with that being said, his favorite quote is, "Heights of great man, reach and kept, was not attained by sudden flight." Unquote. I like that. For real. I like it a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break and come right back. When we come right back, we'll be talking with a pioneer, an icon, somebody who have given the distinguished honor of the Order of Distinction, Mr. Copeland Forbes. We'll be right back after this break, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, it's your boy TC FLEXX representing FLEXX FM.
We're the survivors.
Hi, I'm Nigel Blair, studio host for FLEXX FM Sports, coverage of CASA, Caribbean Americas Soccer Association League. Don't forget to subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and to be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on FLEXX FM Sports for live coverage of all matches. That time of year, it's tax time. Do you know where to get your taxes done? Don't worry, Blair's Management Tax and Accounting Services is the place for you. This is Nigel Blair. With over 26 years of experience in the tax and accounting field, we have what it takes to prepare your taxes the right way and to make sure you take advantages of all your tax deduction and all your tax credits and get you back the maximum amount of refunds possible. So don't delay. Call us today at 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700.
Hi Flexers, welcome to Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth, right here on FlexFM.online. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. Don't forget, it's The Naked Truth Talk Show, the show that brings the truth to the front line.
If I want thing, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family, I me say family.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances take a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth. My special guest today is Mr. Copeland Forbes OD, ladies and gentlemen. The man that you have to address. You know what I mean? Address him proper. You understand? Yes, I, for real. So, with that, check this out. So, Monday we have spoken with Force MDs, right? I've spoken with Force MDs. You know, you remember that group, right? Yes, the Force MDs that give the song like tears, tears, itching for a scratch. A home is, you know what I mean? You can go and name them. I couldn't care less. I need you more and more, not by myself. And I wish I can sing for real. Because if I could have sing, I wouldn't be here today. I'll be touring if I could sing. For real. Also, ladies and gentlemen, and this is in respect to Reggae Month. If you had watched the show Monday between 12 and 2, then you know when we say, when we ask a question, how do you see this month being Reggae Month / Black History Month? And I'm telling you, the answer that I received from the Force MDs, that will go down in history for me. Honestly, it was honest, it was to the point, ladies and gentlemen, and it was in relevance to what we have been through over the 400 years and still going through today. All right. Also, on Tuesday, I talked with Mr. Clinton Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen, a pioneer in not just promoting reggae music in New York City, but globally as well. And this man is responsible for a lot of artists that you know out there that travel, come to the United States. Remember, you know, most of you couldn't go to Jamaica to see your favorite artist performing them. So somebody had to be here bringing those artists to you so you can get to see your artist up close and personal. Even sign a shirt or a cap or something for you. Well, Mr. Clinton Lindsay was and still is that man, ladies and gentlemen. On Wednesday, saluting Reggae Month and Black History Month. Our guest should have been Mr. Cocotti, as I told you before. His flight came in a little bit late, but he is here now in South Florida, ladies and gentlemen. But he would arrive like way past the 2 o'clock time, so we rescheduled the date for Monday. So we'll be talking with Cocotti live inside the studios here of FLEXX FM this coming Monday between 12:30 and 2 p.m. All right? Today, it's Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest today is Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, and we will be talking with him in a couple of minutes. So it's just giving you a lineup or a quick synopsis of what the Reggae Month entails. Now, you guys are accustomed to the naked truth. And it's what we're talking about while we're here with our guests, ladies and gentlemen. When we talk with our guests, we talk about what's happening right now, currently. We talk about our guests and their journey from when they first got introduced to the business to where they're at today and how they see the business going forward. So they have to do nothing but speak the truth, the naked truth, where that is concerned. Honestly, one thing I really want to talk to Mr. Forbes about is this dancing career. Is a cha-cha boy still between me and you, you know? And when you say cha-cha boy, you know, this man have a son when it come close to his style of fashion, you know. I am telling you, his style of fashion is different. But it happens when you travel the world and you see the culture, the different cultures and so forth, and you can incorporate that in yours. I have this commercial that we show promoting Mr. Forbes being here today. And you will see me, you can recognize me. But the man you see on the other side of me standing up, ladies and gentlemen, is Mr. Forbes. I'm for sure it's the man a Cha-Cha boy. I want you to take a look at Mr. Cha-Cha himself. Check this out.
Family, yeah, I know this. I mean say family. Sure. If I want thing, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family, I mean say family.
Gentlemen, are we a family? Yes, man. Are we a family? Are we a cha-cha boy? Are we say from you are the man, you are the man? Are we say this man take the culture and transform it and let people in other regions around the world put some respect on our culture, which is the reggae music? Hence why we reach out to try to get an interview with this man for Reggae Month. It's only fair. It is only fair. No, sir. Mr. Forbes, the man, boy. Miss Finn, good afternoon. It's good to have you here. It's a pleasure. Kojo, it's good to have you here. Schoolers, likewise. Always a pleasure to have you here, my brother. Utan, Graham, a man in the music business. These are the kind of persons you want to rub shoulders with, lick head with in the business. It's good to have you here too. You know what I mean? Now, I have seen some disturbing thing that coming out of the country. I've seen the Jamaica Constabulary Force, ladies and gentlemen, doing some performances, and you know, they have it on their personal Facebook page called the Jamaica Constabulary Facebook page, and you know, they have their ban. You know, the police and them have them ban, and there was mixed comment in the chat room going up, and I, you know, while watching, I'm saying to myself, I understand the passion of when people feel like they should be out there fighting crime instead of they're doing this. But I find it as some great police bonding with the community kind of thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to build that relationship, you know, build that trust with the community, and in order to do so, you have to make them know that you're not an AI, meaning an artificial intelligence. You have to let them know that you and them, we are in the same boat, we all are one. You know what I mean? And you bet the people them come out, and you don't want the people them afraid of you like that, man. You want the people them, when them see anything, them can call them uncle and them brother, which is you, the police officer, and say, yeah, I want you to know a white shirt do it. And the police them respect that and know, say, we're not going to put the anonymous person out there so nobody in the community can go terrorize them. That's the kind of relationship that you need. Police-community relationship. And it's a good thing. I like it. Even though there were mixed comments in the chat room, ladies and gentlemen, where some people are saying, until Mr. Crime stop, we will support this. Well, I was going to type in the chat room, you will never see crime stop. Because remember, Jesus Christ never dead from cancer or heart attack. Or kill him. So if from Jesus' time crime are going until now, you think that, listen, the first war we broke out in heaven. So all crime are going to stop. And them say what goes around comes around. Crime will never stop. But we can clamp down on crime in such a way where we can say, we can go back to the days. You know, like them say, remember the songs used to make you rock away. Those were the days. Yeah, we can go back to the days where you can go your bed and forget to close the door and you wake up and everything's still intact, same way. Then you wake up and you're all up on the ground and the bed gone. You know what I mean? But as time evolves, ladies and gentlemen, things change, and the kind of youth that we are dealing with today is a different kind of youth. Them youth, you know, not pardon young woman and old woman and pitney and no. It's a different, I don't know what they're smoking, drinking, or what they might eat, but I don't even know what kind of song they might dance, because and I think the music have a lot to do with it, you know, in my opinion, you know. Yes, I think the music have some kind of influence to do with it, because listen, music provokes certain mood, you know. Yes, man. Music provokes certain moods, ladies and gentlemen. And some of those moods are, listen, you remember this country Zimbabwe in Africa? Remember, music provoke a certain mood for them to get their independence, you know, and say, yo, listen, we're going to get up, stand up and fight for a right, you know, because Bob Marley said it best in a song. That was the playlist that they have at the time. And them listen to that and get up and rebel. Africa unite, and them listen to that and rebel. So guess what? Know that. You know that music provokes certain emotion. As an artist, you're faced with the responsibility to now start to pen some songs that can change the course of what's going on. You know what I mean? We know at this time it's the get rich quick thing, because face the fact, a youth drop a 45 or an EP today, next week he might drive a BMW or a Benz. Real talk. Remember, once upon a time, you know, it's only certain youths from the garrison would have uphold reggae, you know. If an uptown youth had tried that, you know, probably have to go move out, you know, and parents put him out, you know. As you have to go try the soca or something. Can't do reggae dancehall. You mad? So it was looked down on, and it was a part of our culture that was looked down on, ladies and gentlemen. And it had this stigma with it. Like, it's only people who drop out of school and do them something there. Or it's only people that is have nowhere for go. Them the boy they will not live nowhere. And this is how them talk about the reggae artists them. But better and behold, it becomes a force to be reckoned with now when Bob and Bunny and Third World and Inner Circle and them people, you know, changed the game. They changed the narrative in such a way that even them now I try push them sons and daughter into it, because reggae now becomes the forefront, the heartbeat of our culture worldwide. Hey, I have been, listen, music have taken me throughout this planet called Earth to some places that don't even speak a word in English. And when promoter take me to a particular restaurant to eat some food, we know what me hear? Reggae music. Yes, I hear reggae music. And I'm saying to myself, how them understand? But guess what? Remember I tell you earlier in the previous hour about Japan Splash? Japanese don't speak English. But remember I tell you, when the beat dropping, man, them all over that, you know, man. Oh, yes, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this young lady did a song, a cover version of a song of an icon, Rita Marley. And she's our world premiere Song of the Week. I'm going to play the song by Liz Tomlinson. And I want you to listen to how this young lady cover this song. The way she covered this song, you would think that Rita did it, or Rita is doing back in harmony or something. But I want you to listen carefully to this song. Love the fact that she give credit to Rita too. You know what I mean? So I'm going to roll the dice on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to listen carefully to this song. Let's go. Roll the dice, man. This
World Premiere Wednesdays. World Premiere. Yeah.
This is a tribute to Sister Rita Marley. Oh, cha cha, cha 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 cha. Rastafari knows everything. I pray, Aja, who else? Aja, Aja. Yes, the higher man knows everything. I pray, Aja, who else? Aja, Aja. Forces will fight, will be defeated. Black man unite, too long separated. Walk into light and do Jah will now, just shining light. Prophecy fulfill, yeah. To each his own, to each his own, to everything there is a season. Rastafari knows everything. My prayer, Aja, who else?
Aja, Aja. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, tell me say that no sound like Rita Marley. She did a good job. Yes, man, that's why the people in it vote for she in the world premiere segment. Because we have a segment we do every Wednesday where we play 10 songs. And you guys vote to say out of the 10 songs, which one is the best one, which one get the best of your vote. And of course, you did it. No, I am telling you, Sister Aya, welcome, my sister. Every time, man. Kojo, welcome too. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you real quick a Japan splash with Tiger. And I want you to take a look at this and look at the turnout, look at the crowd. And I think this was in the 90s, you know. And I'm not sure if it's 91, 93, 95, somewhere around there. But I want you to look carefully at this footage here. This was Tiger in his heyday at a Japan splash. This is an international concert. Take a look. Ladies and gentlemen, I was enjoying that so much. I'm going to tell you this. Honestly, I think that my producer should drop that footage along with the Ninja Man footage at the same concert in Japan, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Japan splash. And you saw the turnout, the crowd. You saw the Jamaican flag waving in the crowd. You see the powers of our music. You saw the powers of our music. OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, King God Almighty, welcome to the show, man. Kojo, yes, music, man, talented. That was Tiger in his heyday, man. And you notice how those guys have to perform their song, them now wheel and all and pull it. It's different when they go up on the international circuit, you know. It's a whole different thing. I was talking with Maxi Priest in an interview, and Maxi Priest told me, and Buju, Maxi Priest and Buju was on the concert. Ladies and gentlemen, and guess what happened? Buju was there doing, the original dancehall thing where you sing two lines out of the song and wheel, wheel, wheel. When the tabloid come out the next day, they say Maxi Priest took the show, Buju was a flop. And it was Maxi Priest who said, in England, them not used to the wheel and pull it. You have to sing a song from start to finish. Then you give them a stellar performance. That's what they consider a performance, because they want to sing along with you. So hey, sometime you live, you learn, right? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, my special guest is actually here. He has arrived. Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, is here with us. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, you put your hands together and help me welcome one of the great that has ever done it from 1962 to present, Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD. Good afternoon, my brother. Welcome to Lunch with TC.
Oh, good afternoon. I've been watching it all along, but I couldn't figure if I was on live and thing, and then when I saw Japan Splash, it brought back so much memories, because I attended more Japan Splash than even Sun Splash.
Oh man, you attended more Japan Splash than Sun Splash.
Yes, I attended all the way. Started from I first went there 84.
Wow.
But Sunsplash started in 85 with Bob Andy, Freddie McGregor, Max Romeo, and Judy Moore. The first ever Sunsplash to Japan. And then what happened? They joined with the Japanese to present Sunsplash. Japan Splash wasn't born yet. But there, in the middle of the tour, there was some differences between Tony Johnson, the head of Sunsplash, and the Japanese.
Yes.
And then the Japanese, they are very strict business people. They tell it's 10 cents. You can't come and tell them it's 11 cents because this and that or anything else.
Yes.
So there was a financial disagreement. So the Japanese, after that, just pulled away. And the following year, they formed their own and called it Reggae Japan Splash.
Wow.
And it has grown from the Yomiuri land in Japan that they used to do it at all about 5,000 to I have seen 60 and 70,000 people in Tokyo and Osaka.
Look at that.
So, yeah.
Mr. Forbes, it's a pleasure to have you here in our presence and hearing your voice, looking as young as you were back then when you were when you had a dance career.
First, I must apologize for the lateness, but I had a fatality. My latest top of the line cell phone with everything, my booking it was stolen when I was at a Reggae Month event filming at Port Royal with Freddie and not Freddie, with Berries and Rumian and everybody. So I just got it back late last night when I made some undercover work to find out that it was literally picked up in my parking lot by somebody who lived on the premises, and then they took it to some hacker to try get into it.
Yes.
And they found that it was hard to get into it. And then somehow they saw that I locate Facebook informed me that people are trying to hack into the phone, and I made it known at the complex, and through a lot of work and undercover work, I was able to get it back late last night.
Wow. Well, I'm happy that you retrieved back your cell phone, because I know a lot of information where you have all these dignitaries' numbers there. It's not easy to lose those numbers. It's
exactly
good when you can back those up on a separate like platform such as Google. So if anything should happen, you can always retrieve those.
Right.
So, Mr. Forbes, your career started out in 1962. Take us back to the year when Jamaica got independence. Was it after Jamaica got independence or before Jamaica got independence?
Well, actually, I started in December 15, 1962. That's when I had to start. So it was after independence, But I was a member of the Boy Scouts then, right? I was a Queen Scout, so I was active in public eye even before getting into the entertainment industry, because it was through the Boy Scout Association that I was exposed to entertainment, because we had a group in our scouting called the Harmony Cats, right? And we toured all over. and perform at quite a few functions here and there, and then it transcend into a more bigger platform. And then I was associated with the Mighty Vikings band, which a top band at that era.
Yes.
Joining the fan club. So I was associated then, so I got the exposure to start move into the professional era of entertainment.
Okay. So you had formed your own group now called the Coasters. So were you performing
Yes,
on
after
the
the Harmonic Cat now, I formed a group named the Coasters,
Yes.
which was a song and dance group because we entered the JCDC festival that year,
Yes.
and we won. Right, and then we started getting stage shows, at Regal, State, Carib, and performing anywhere the Mighty Vikings band was performing. So that propelled me now into a wider scope. And then I was affiliated with another band called that Dennis Brown used to be the lead singer. I can't remember the name. I'll tell you as we go along. And then we started playing at concerts up at Maritone Place and everywhere. And I was a harmonica player in the band.
Wow. Wow. So you were very much rounded in the music on a whole. It's not just that you were the one that have the knowledge of saying, let's find how we can get the artist them on stage. But you were very much active in terms of...
Before I reached that stage, I was actually a performing act with my group, the Coasters, and performing on a lot of shows around Jamaica.
Yes.
Right? I really wanted to be a musician because I love the sound of bass. So I started learning to play the bass. But those days you play with the thumb.
Okay.
Right? And then your thumb now start to get sore. And I used to suck finger. So sore started to come out on my thumb. And then everybody was telling me that, yes, it has to happen like that until it get hard. But it was so soft and painful, so I decided that I'm not going to take up the bass. I decided to go on the drums. And I started to hang around the Mighty Vikings and pray that each night the drummer would get drunk so I can get a little play on the drum. And it was working, backing up people like Derek Harriott in Close to Me and all those nice songs.
Yes.
Until a big artist came to Jamaica named Joe, a sick choking kind, Joe, can't remember his name, Joe Simon.
Joe Simon.
Yeah. And we were playing at a club named Dingo, and they asked me to sit around the drum because the drummer was drunk.
Yes.
And oh my God, I was nervous as hell. I didn't know, I get cramps in my leg.
Wow.
So I have to switch from the drum now, and I went to trombone. Because my sister's husband, Ron Wilson, was a trombonist in the military band. And he gave me a trombone, and I started doing it. And then somebody told my mother that my lip is going to get big and I'm going to have heart problem. So to stop me from blowing this big horn, I was in Trenchtown walking up and down Green Street with this trombone in my hand, playing like crazy.
Yes.
Then I dropped that and I decided that I'm going to learn fencing.
Fencing.
So Victor Sampson and at a gym in New Kingston. So I went there learning fencing, and then somebody told my mom that I was learning to do sword fight. And she found her way to Holborn's Health Studio in New Kingston while I was fencing with Victor Sampson from Baron Lee Band, and hold me by my waist and drag me from New Kingston straight back to Jonestown.
What?
And then being around the Vikings band, the manager of the band was Winston Chinquy.
Yes.
And I learned a lot from him, how to manage the group, how to do business, and how to negotiate. And he was really my tutor, with Sonny Wang, Victor Wang, and all those guys that was in the band. And that's where I started to learn the business aspect of the business.
Okay. And that was from the Mighty Vikings perspective, angle.
Right. Yeah. And then I went overseas in 1968, right, to Minnesota. And then I got hooked up with a band named Michael Mystic. Sorry, I didn't have some of the pictures them, could have sent you. They were in the phone that was stolen. That I planned to send to you. You'll see some of them, right? And I hooked up with a band named Michael Mystics. accidentally because the lead singer of the band had sore throat and everybody knew I was from Jamaica and they said I can do it and they pushed me on the stage and I sang 4 songs with the band that night. And then the band gave me a contract.
Wow.
And I started singing with Michael Mystic.
Michael Mystic. Now, even though you were so active in the music, you appear in some movies as well.
Yes, you see, I go from one to the other, because I left Minnesota and I went to New York to visit my sister, my biggest sister, Sylvia.
Yes,
And when
Sister
I realized
Sylvia.
that New York was where it's at, show business, everything was there, I said, yes, this is it, So I hooked up with my friend Winston Jones, Barrington Barrett, and all these guys that were there. And one of my dancers from the coast, Theophilus Evans, was there. And then we were coming along 57th Street and we passed a building in 20th Century Fox. So while we went inside the building looking at the pictures and everything, and we acting like we were actors, and a guy came to me and said, "Where you guys from?" I said, "We're from Jamaica." He said, "Have you ever been in movie?" We said, "Yes." He said, "What movie?" I said, "The pantomime." He said, "What is that?" I said, "It's a movie in Jamaica. I've never been in a pantomime, no, not what theater yet, But they say in America is the lightest man survive.
Yes.
So we told him that, and he said they're recruiting people for this movie coming up, right? So we want to go up to the 10th floor. So we went up to the 10th floor. There was about 500 people up there, and they gave us forms to fill out. And we said to ourselves, something, I don't think we stand a chance, because our accent alone would give us away.
Oh.
Yeah. But then we had to read a script for 5 minutes, and all they tell you that, okay, we'll get back to you. So we walked out, not expecting anything, About a week or two later, I came in from work, and my sister Sylvia said to me, "Some Fox place keep calling here, every minute keep calling, I want to talk to you." I said, "What Fox?" She said, "I can't remember. All I remember is Fox. They leave a number there." So when I call the number, I hear 20th Century Fox. I said, "My name is Copeland Forbes, and I got a correspondent to, oh yes, Mr. Forbes, we've been trying to find you. You have been selected for the movie."
What?
I said, "What?" So they gave me all the instructions to come down 5 o'clock in the morning down at 20th Century Fox, and then we went to Brooklyn. The movie was The French Connection that won 5 Academy Awards. So the start in the movie thing was great for me. 5 Academy Awards, with that movie. You must have remembered the French Connection with Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider.
Yes.
Dressed in like Santa Claus, and one was dressed as a cop, and we played the scene down in the bar in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So it was a good start for me, and that led to another movie named Groove True, another one named Goodbye Baby, and a nice big one named 40 Carats with Liv Ullmann, which was big, So that propelled me to another platform.
Wow.
So I was getting calls to do extras here and there, right? And at the Apollo, to come to the Apollo, so that I started on another platform and moving up.
Okay. So at this time, at what age you were when doing these performances?
Well, I was young, because when I got into New York, I was just 23.
Okay, very young.
Right, and I might tell you this: I got married so young, I didn't know what marriage was. I got married to my son's mother, Colin.
Yes.
And because I thought about my kids in Jamaica, and I said, I would like to get the whole family up. So I decided that I'm going to get married. So I went down to Jamaica to get married, and then come back up to the US and start to do work and getting everybody up. So I started thinking family-wise in that era, but I was young and agile and getting all these calls to go to the Apollo, Jubu Showtime, and quite a few places on Broadway, to dance. I remember I entered the amateur contest at the Apollo Theater, right? And I was the only West Indian on the bill. And I was nervous as hell. I drew number 7.
I can imagine.
And they had a clown those days that stay on the side of the stage. And if you're not doing good, the clown come out with a bucket full of cut up people like garbage and throw on you.
Yes.
So when they called my number and I went out to put your hand on this piece of wood is lock. And then they go out and they said, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Kingston, Jamaica." And I got a nice round of applause. And that gave me a little more confidence. Because Harry Belafonte was big in the 70s, during that time. And I started to sing this song, the Temptation song, Get Ready. Because that's what I rehearsed with the band at the Apollo.
Okay.
And when I started to sing, and before I get to the bridge, I see the clown get up. And I said to myself, this clown think him going to dump me with a pan of garbage. No way. So I just let go the mic and started with some of the James Brown moves on stage. The split, the spin,
Yes.
the mic, and split and everything, and the place tear down. And I just come off of the stage right there. But guess what? I didn't win.
Yes.
There was a group named the Stylistics that came with their own band, and they were singing and dancing, and they had choreography like crazy. They had a name before they became the Stylists.
And you're talking about the original
Stylistics. They were the
Stylistics.
ones. Yeah, they were the one that won on that bill. I'll never forget it. In the 70s at the Apollo Theater, you know. So I started moving on and on from then.
Man, no, that was a bold move. Going up against, those are giants, you know.
Yes, yeah. You know, and a little guy from a little island named Jamaica, you know, who have never graced such a big platform, you know. My heart was beating like hell. And when I said the clown get up, I said, no, this not going to happen to me. I start put on my dance move. I dance out the other half of the song.
Yes.
All those moves that you say James Brown do, the split and the shuffle and the right across on one foot, I was good at that. And when I brought the house down and everybody was screaming, I didn't stay a minute past that. I just exit right there and then.
With that being said, we have seen where at this tender age, you know, early 20s, and you are now doing so much as a young man. What makes you change direction and says, I'm going to start to manage artists? And what artist or which artist was the first one that, you know, you took?
Right. Yeah, man. I'll tell you how it happened, how the transition went, right? I started doing a lot of shows around New York, right? And while I was at the Apollo Theater, a group came up led by Lloyd Parks named Skin, Flesh and Bone, right? And they had a young drummer near, 14-year-old drummer named Sly Dunbar, who was in the band. So we did 21 shows in 7 days, 3 shows per day at the Apollo Theater. The promoter was a man named Earl Harris, a Trinidadian guy, but he was doing big shows. He brought reggae to the big time in the Apollo. And then while I was there now, Johnny Nash was called the King of Reggae then, not Bob Marley. But he was singing Bob Marley's song and Ernest Smith's song, you know. Cupid he done over in reggae style. I Can See Clearly, and all those hit songs. So he was touring America and going to be appearing on Soul Train, and they wanted somebody to come and show the US how to dance reggae. So when they came to Apollo Theater, Don Cornelius and the vice president of black music from CBS and Johnny Nash came over to the Apollo and they saw us. My sister was in the group to pay, right? Mayor Soul, rest in peace. And they selected us, you know, and said they want us to come to California. So I was shipped off to California to record that evening's program with Johnny Nash on Soul Train. You know, and that's how the music and Jamaica now start to move up because I am from Jamaica.
Yes.
Johnny Nash is singing Jamaican songs. You know, he's an American. So that plugged me into a different limelight and a different era, right? So when I got back to New York now, the Wailers, right? Not Bob Marley and the Wailers now, the Wailers.
The Wailers.
The Wailers, right? They came into New York, right? And they were playing at a place named Max Kansas City in Manhattan on the Catch a Fire tour.
Okay.
So my friend who was a journalist, his name was G. Fitzbarker from Jamaica. He was big in New York, you know. He's working with the Philadelphia newspaper company and he writes for a lot of paper around New York. He took me down to meet Bob Marley down at 23rd Street, a little hotel at 23rd Street. I can't remember the name of it, you know. But he introduced me and he told him that I was on Soul Train promoting, you know, reggae and thing, and you know, he think it's somebody I should have on the team. And Bob asked me one question. He said, "What month were you born?" And I said, "August." He said, "What day?" I said, "The 1st." He said, "You're a born leader. Come." And that was it, you know.
That was it.
No further questions, you know. And then I joined on with the Wailers on that Catch a Fire tour, you know, and went through the US until we got to Las Vegas We were opening the show in New York. We opened for Bruce Springsteen, and we did 6 days and 14 shows, right?
Yes, 14
that
show.
club. And then we
Wow.
went on and hooked up with Sly and the Family Stone, and we were opening for Sly and the Family Stone until we got to Las Vegas, where they thought more or less we were too unfit to be on their bill. They were the biggest punk rock, not punk rock group in America. You know,
Yes.
I want to thank you for letting me be myself again and all this big ed. And they dumped us in Las Vegas.
Wow.
You know, they got up early in the morning and drove away the bus and left us all stranded on the roadside. And then
What?
from then now, a friend named Gus Brown, who was going to college in California, Las Vegas is not far from California, he heard that the Whalers was on the roadside. And his colleagues drove all the way from California and came out, you know, to rescue us. And he knew a guy at a club named Metric. And he went to the guy and tell him that he's a great group from Jamaica, you know, and they got stranded and things. Give them a night. The guy didn't want to do it, so he gave 2 nights. And when he saw the performance, he extended it and gave 4 nights.
Wow.
You know, and then afterward, we did some live recording out there, and then I came back to New York because I couldn't take that roughness out there. And then Bob went on, finished to the US, and then went over to the UK. You know, and that's when the Whalers started to fall apart. You know, Bunny left, then Peter left, and Bob was just left with the Barrett brothers, just, you know, Carly and Family Man. At that point now, he got some of the musicians and augment with the group and start to go under the moniker of Bob Marley and the Whalers, which they were using way back in the 60s, you know. But when they signed with Island, they signed under the banner of Bob Marley and the Whalers. So when people were saying that it was Chris Blackwell who mashed up the group and give the name Bob Marley and the Whalers, that is incorrect. You see, if you go back and look in 1967, 68, on their own label named Whale M Soul N, right?
Yes.
They have Bob Marley and the Whalers. So they were using that moniker for way before they met Chris Blackwell in 1972.
Didn't even knew that. I'm learning today, Mr.
Right,
Forbes.
you know.
I am learning today. So you have toured the US with Bob Marley and the Whalers. You've also managed and you tour with Barry Salmon, Ziggy Marley, Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, the Mighty Diamonds, the I Trees.
Right.
And just to name a few of some of the greats that you have worked with. People such as Master Griffiths, Peter Tosh, John Holt, Luciana, Uri, Sly and Robbie, Jimmy Cliff, Andrew Tosh, Dennis Brown, Frankie Paul, Girls Stone Band, Live Wire Band, Light Parks and We the People Band, Freddie McGregor, Shaka Dima, Sam Pliers, Maxi Priest, Sugar Minot, may his soul rest in peace, Junior Reed, Muta Baruka, and the list goes on.
It's easier to say who I haven't worked with. Because
it's easier to say that.
With at least 98% of the artists in Jamaica in many different capacities. Some of them in management,
yes.
Some in road management, some in booking agents, some in tour organization. So I was able to very close to almost all the artists them from the 70s up, you know, and I was the one who spearheaded quite a few of their first tour, their inauguration tour. You know, the first tour by Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, then Hayward tour in 1986 when they just left school. My son Colin can tell you, he was on that tour. I organized that tour, and I was the tour manager for that tour in 1986. You know, and then in that same year, 1986, I organized the Sly and Robbie Taxi Connection tour, which was 3.5 months. Colin, my son was on that tour too. You know, all of the Taxi Connection tours, right? Plus, I started doing my own tour titled Reggae Superfest in 1989, and I continued for quite a number of years. So I have worked with almost 90% of the artists in Jamaica, and those lists that you call are just a touch of the heap that I have worked with. You know, if we'll be here tomorrow, we'll call in all the names. You know, but it was a great honor, and it helped me to understand the different characteristics of artists, their likes and dislikes. Because you're
Yes.
working with Rastaman, you're working with Ballad, you're working with Bobo Man, you're working with all different dub poets, and working with people like Amuta Baruka and Earl China Smith, who is it's an experience, But I was able to handle it because people always ask me, how did you manage? What was the chemistry you used to understand and deal with all these people with all these different, personality? But it was easy after a while, and I got used to it, and we all became friends, So it was roll along.
Oh man, I tell you, the thing that I want to touch on is, what would you say was the hardest part of the entire business that you have spearheaded?
Boy, there's so many hard part of it, but it don't come as a hard part to me. It's like a disappointment, because I remember when I decided was celebrating my 40th anniversary, right? And
Yes.
I put a tour together, right, which had every aspect and genres of our music. I had Toots representing the old school. I
Yes.
had Israel Vibration representing the old school culture. I had Luciana representing the cultural singer. I had Tony Rebel representing the cultural DJ. I had Chaka, not Chaka, yes, Chaka Dinos and Pliers. I had Morgan Heritage, and I had Stone Love Disco, and I went out to celebrate my 40th anniversary under the banner of One Love. And the tour was titled One Love because that was the theme and the song that the BBC voted Song of the Century. And then I went to corporate Jamaica like almost a year before, you know, with trying to seek sponsorship and so on, and everybody turned their back. They give me all kind of excuse up and down. I remember going to a big company that had a product named Tropical Rhythms, which was a new drink come out, and I went down there and spoke with them and said, we can give it a lot of visibility overseas on the tour. And they tell me that I have to go and talk with the overseas distributors, not them. I said, but you are the originators, and if you instrument, it can work. But they turned their back on me. I went to Jamaica Tourist Board. I get the same thing. I went to Air Jamaica. I get the same thing. So after being turned on, and I went also to there was one more entity I went to.
Wow.
And I get the same thing, yes, the Jam Pro. And I was very disappointed because I helped entities like Jampro to establish themselves in France at Midem. I was the tour manager for that great exhibition we did, in reggae there, and it's been talked about until this very day. And I worked for one whole year free for nothing to get that. So I was disappointed in my own corporate thing. So I decided to go to the Americans. And when I went to a top American airline company, it was too late for sponsorship, but they gave me a 30% reduction. They said, how many people traveling? I said 57. And they gave me a 35% reduction on all the tickets without any sponsorship or anything.
Wow.
And that company, I give them praise until it's very day, because they were the same one that West Reggae Boys back in the 90s too, when we were qualified,
Yes.
because our local company, right, ashamed to say it, but it's true. I went
Yes.
to them, which was our national airline, and they have service in 11 of the 13 states that we were going through in the US, and they turned their back on me.
Wow.
Right. So I went to the American people now, the suppliers like the bus company and a juice company, and everybody jumped in, gave me reduction on the bus, like a contribution. Because it's late for advertisement now with their product and thing, but I did as much as possible, right? And it was able to pull it off. I mean, when the tour hit Florida, we played at that big theater down in Miami. What's the name of that big one?
The amphitheater? The Miami amphitheater?
No. It's the indoor one.
Uh,
But it's a posh one, and the hotel is on the compound. I can't remember the name of it. But as we played there, and then when the tour started getting the publicity in Jamaica, I got a call from one of the tourism minister who works in tourism, and he asked me, what happened, and I told him, and he was very disappointed that my country, turned my back on me, and somebody whispered in my ears and said, if you name Shim or Wong or Song, they would have jumped to it, but You them
True.
take care of that small man, but the work that I did enhanced Jamaica, its culture and its music. Because you tell me where you can find down to the sound system I carried with me on the tour, Stone Love,
Yes.
you know, and every genre of the music. Dean Fraser represented instrumentals, right,
Yes.
in that era, and we toured around the US, and it was a great, great, great thing, you know. And I felt disappointed when I come with my Jamaican corporate countries, but that is the only disappointment I've ever had in the music industry, and a lot of it will be told in my book anyway.
Okay. I like the idea
In the
that
book
that
I've
didn't
written.
deter you. The show still went on, and you still keep your head up. You still went and look sponsorship elsewhere, and it's sad that you have to get it overseas instead of home. A king was never yet crowned king in his home, and we understand that.
I always remember that line.
Yes, and to think what you have done for the culture, not just the culture and the music, but for the country itself. Because when you go out and you represent Jamaica on the international and the global market, all those companies get credits along the way now.
Exactly.
Because it's Jamaican. That's the brand Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah,
it's
because when I remember when I went to Thailand. No, the first time I'm going to this place, right? And I was
yes,
invited there by a friend who used to run a club in Port Lauderdale named Reggae Pub.
reggae pub.
It's in Port Lauderdale. It was the hottest club in the 80s and 90s, right? His name is Steve Crichton, and his partner owned that hotel down State Road 7, all right? Plantation Inn,
Plantation
right?
Inn.
And yeah, so I met this guy there, and he moved to Thailand, and he keep telling me to come to Thailand. It's nice, this and that. I said Thailand is too far to just get up and go. So I looked at the map, and I see it was not far from Japan. So I told him when I'm going to Japan, I will, plan it to come there. So I took a package to Japan, with Master, Griffith, Stone, Love, Sanchez, Luciana, quite a few artists. And then after that tour, I went down to Thailand. When I arrived in Thailand, oh my God, I couldn't believe what I saw. This was the same year when the Beijing game was going on. So we weren't far from China either, you know.
Yes.
And I had a huge welcome party for me in Thailand, which I until this very day I've never seen this yet, because when I drove and went through the city, I saw a big red, green, and gold banner across the city center with my name on it, and I said, wow. And I said to my friend, what's this? He said, wait until you see the party we have for you. And I went to the hotel, changed, put on, and when I went back to this place that they had for me, oh gosh, I saw so many people. I said Thai girls dancing with their hips thing and so on. And then I met a Russian billionaire guy who said he loves Jamaica. He has never been there, but just to hear the name, and he both was breaking records in Beijing. And the only Jamaican artist he has ever heard come to Russia was Sean Paul.
Oh.
And he would like to have some more Jamaican acts, So we struck up a deal there. I mean, when I realized this guy was the brother of the guy who owns the Chelsea club in England.
In England, yeah.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Russian guy, Abramovich.
Wow.
So that propelled me there, and I went to spend a week. I ended up spending a month in Thailand, because everywhere I walk on the air from Jamaica, everybody was just coming around me, and then it took me over to an island in Koh Samui, which is a little off from Bangkok.
Yes.
And introduced me to one of his partners who owns a big club named Reggae Pub that seats 5,000 people. And right there and then he struck up a deal with me to bring DJs from Jamaica to spin this in the club for about 6 months. Each DJs would spend 2 months there. So immediately I stayed right in Thailand and called a top radio station, Cool FM, my friend named Michael Barnett, to line up some DJs to come to Thailand to spin disc, and everybody was ready. I came back to Jamaica. They had a thing named Heineken Time, where the DJs were competing against each other, and I used that to pick the best one. And just as we were ready to go to Thailand to start this thing, they had internal problems. They were burning down the city. If you remember that, yellow political rivalry, the
Yes.
yellow versus the red. and we just couldn't go, and everybody was kind of disappointed, And but nevertheless, but new grounds like that, I always remember that I was able to open up the roads in Thailand till a lot of people start going there. I mean, Anthony B go there regularly, UB40, the Whalers. So I kind of opened that door for our music and our culture and our country.
And a lot more. Now, we know that you have been awarded the Reggae slash Black History Month award, the National Golden Award, and that you were one of the recipients for that in 2019. Now, it was presented by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Sports and Entertainment for an outstanding contribution in the development and evolution of 50 years of reggae between 1968 to 2018. And from that,
I received over 150 awards.
Wow.
Most of them from overseas, right? The first time I get an award from my own country was in 2011, right? When Warrell King had a show, and he looked up and realized that I've never been awarded in my own country, and he gave me an award. And then the Canadian Society gave me 2 awards. And then finally, Jaria gave me the Achievement Award in 2012, because at that point now, myself, along with A&G in London, the big company that keep all the big shows, decided to stage a 2-week concert series at the London O2 Arena to celebrate Jamaica's 50th. And that was something that I was very proud of, because we put on a show there for 2 weeks straight. Every day, a different artist right there and then. All the cream of the crop, the Marley families, you name it, everybody.
Wow.
And it was great, and I was very proud of that.
Well, another milestone, another accomplishment was when you, Mr. Forbes, were one of the main organizers behind the staging of an event to celebrate reggae's queen, Marcia Griffith's 50 years anniversary celebration, which consists of Marcia Griffiths and friends, and that broke the Guinness Book of Record. I think that was in Wilkins Park in New York City, Roy Wilkins Park.
Yes, exactly. This was in 2014 when she was celebrating her 50th. We did a concert in Montego Bay, right, at the Dodge Fest, and the promoters from New York were there.
Yes.
And when they saw what I presented, the Marcia Griffiths and friends, they were knocked off their feet. So Chris Roberts came along with Rat Clems and the PA guy, I can't remember his name, right? Came and met with me and said they would like to have the same package in New York, for Grooving in the Park. And we struck a deal right there and then. And, that year we broke the record, the Guinness record of the amount of people in Roy Wilkins Park. So that was another great achievement for me. And that I was proud of, that I could, do and pull off something like that.
30,000
We went to London the following year and carried it along with us. And we did 4 big shows in the O2 circuit, with Marcia Griffiths and friends. So it was a great achievement and a celebration for her, celebrating her 50th anniversary.
Wow.
So it was a good accomplishment.
So before we take ourselves, this is the thing I want to get to. The autobiography of Mr. Colin Forbes OD. Reggae, My Life Is. How did you come up with
Colin
that?
Forbes, Copeland Forbes.
Copeland Forbes. How did you come up with that heading, Mr. Forbes?
Well, it's like saying my life is reggae,
Yes.
Because most of my life is spent in the reggae field, so to speak. I have had opportunity where I work with other groups outside of the reggae genre. As a matter of fact, I have a gold record in my house right now, which I can show it to you on the wall there, that I got from a group named Meatloaf, right? The guy, Bat Out of Hell was the album when they got gold, and this was a white group that I worked with.
Yes.
I've had opportunities to work with rap groups. Colin can tell you, LTD and all these people, but I turned it down because I wanted to represent Jamaica and work and get my country music and culture to the top. So it has been part of my life. So I said, I just said, something, instead of saying reggae is my life, reggae my life is, and the is a white thing because I wear over 10 caps, in the industry. So it chronicles and covers quite a few areas and articles, stories I
Yes.
mean, Colin can tell you he was there at most of them, around the world, incidents, dramatic things and so on, that is going to turn the music world upside down when it comes out. Because right now, a few people who have known about some of the things then, are just itching and asking, when is the book coming out? It should have been out this month, because we planned on releasing it for Black History Reggae Month. But we have been going through it with quite a few things, fine comb things, because we know we're gonna get a lot of attacks from different areas, So it has just been finalized by the same designer who did Miss Pat from DP Book in Greece, right? Maria, she's the one that's doing it, and so on. So we're finished now, and we'll be getting ready now to announce a release date. And I tell you, the release function gonna be something for people to see. It's gonna be streamed with I'm not gonna reveal the ingredients yet
Yes.
until we make the announcement of the date and so on, and people are gonna be knocked up and be ready around the world to look at this, the launch of Reggae My Life is.
Well, I know that whether you're doing the launch in Jamaica, in Japan, France, the US, we will be there. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's something the whole world is looking forward to. I've had invitation as far as Nigeria, Italy,
Yes.
to do a launch there, but we're going to be streaming it live from Jamaica, right? So, people around the world can watch it.
Have a piece
And
of it.
we plan to go on a tour now, a book tour. It's not just going around signing books. We're going to be carrying an entertainment package, right, on the road with some very notable people in the business, from the all-star band out to the artists. And every country we go in, right, we'll do a concert presentation, and we have a book signing and everything circle around the book. And the tour is going to be Reggae My Life is Tour.
Love that. I love that. In closing, Mr. Forbes, you have seen the highs and the lows of our business, the music fraternity. You know what work, what doesn't work. What message that you would give to these up and coming artists in the business today?
Well, something, I wish when we have music seminars, a lot of them would turn out to it, but they don't come. We have many seminars and they just don't come. If you said Jay-Z is going to be there, or Witty Yap, or whoever it is, the place packed. You have to go hire chairs from another place. So I always said to them that always do good songs that can last, right? Have a professional approach to it. Have a team. It's not a one-man job. Bob did not get successful with just by himself. He had a team of people around him. His PR people, his manager, his road manager, his accountant, his business manager, and his band, everything, right? You need to have a more professional approach, right, to
Yes.
the whole thing. You see? So I always tell the young ones them that they should they should take, sorry about that, somebody was calling me,
Yes, I know.
my editor for the book, right? I always give them professional advice
Yes.
to follow, and I use the example. Look at a man like Ken Booth. He wrote a song, "The Train Is Coming, Baby," and then years after, that song was used in the movie Money Train, and that gave him one of his biggest checks,
True.
in his life. Same thing happened to quite a few groups. A good song will never die, and always do remember that when you go out on a stage, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your country, your culture, and the music. I remember when I was selected to be in Cardo opening up for Princess Margaret in '62, it was a honor. It wasn't just about me. And when His Majesty came to Jamaica in 1966 and I was selected to be his official Cardo opener again, it was a great honor that helped me until this very day. Because a lot of Rasta man now, it's to me and say, "Boy, you meet His Majesty?" I say, "Yeah." What was he like? And I have to stand up there giving them a good story about His Majesty, what he looks like and think. And him said, "So you meet the mighty one?" I said, "Yes, in the flesh."
Yes.
So I always give them good advice and tell them to live up to their presentation, and don't practice what if you can't preach what you practice, right?
Yes.
Don't come and say if you can't, do positive things. Because I remember a certain group, I took on the road, and they had a song named Solidarity. right? And when I saw how they were moving along, and I had to stop somewhere in the tour and say, listen, you're singing a song, right? But if you're not acting it and the people see it's happening, then it will come against you in the end. The group end up broke up just before it won the Grammy, you know. So stories like that are in the book, you know, advices, because my book is not just about something you just read. It's like an encyclopedia.
Yes.
It's like a dictionary. It's like a learning thing that, you know, you can carry with you anywhere you want to go, you know, and read and learn from it. And I must be the first one I'm going to bust this too. I've gotten interest from a certain NBC company.
Yes.
Who have interest to do a documentary on it just by what they heard is coming in the book, you know. So it's not going to stop to the book, you know. It's going to keep going on and on, you know. I mean, and I have volume 2 and volume 3 almost lined up already. So my advice to all the entertainers is to that stay positive. Remember, you're an ambassador for your country and your culture and your music, and hold your head high, because that's what I did. And I came from a humble beginning, born in Jonestown, grew up in Trenchtown, but it's not where you're coming from, it's where you're heading to, right? And the stars are my limit.
Man, I cannot close the show any other way than that message that you just left with us. Very powerful. And of course, you says, heights of great man reach and kept, was not attained by sudden flight. I use that throughout life, Mr. Forbes.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's how I always close off some of my lectures. I do a lot of PowerPoint presentation around the world, you know.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about the music and the culture. I always close off with that, you know, and leave that in people's mind, you know, so they can leave with a positive attitude, you know. And I must say thank you. You know, I must thank my son Colin, because he's been on my back for a long time. And when the book comes out, I will gladly come back so we can go a little more deeper into the book and stuff from it, because I tell you, it's going to turn the world upside down.
I'm looking forward to it, Mr. Copeland Forbes. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you very much for your time. And I really appreciate you sharing this with us at this time of the year, which is Reggae Month / Black History Month. I do appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. And of course, the message that you left with us today, I see someone online says, to the guests, thanks for representing us as Jamaicans in our development. My hat off to you, sir. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Hasta luego. Tenespelent, avoir, and in Jamaica we say, the God.
Mad love, mad respect. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD, who has the country has honored him with the honor of distinction. It gives me great pleasure to bring these icons to the table before they pass off. I want to give him a bunch of roses today and not wait until him gone, then we'll start to send condolences to his family and all these things. No, let's give credit where it's due today. Let's hail the greats for the work that they have put in. I told you there are some unsung heroes amongst us, and we tend to just keep our heads straight, and we know that it's now time for us to give credit where it's due. This man has held the banner high, and of course the message that he left with us for the up and coming artists. Listen, I go and find out when is the next seminar and how we can stream the next seminar so people around the world can be a part of such greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you, those online, whether you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, FlexFM.online, or Twitch. It doesn't matter what platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we're simultaneously streaming this greatness right here. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 12 and 2. This has been another FLEXX FM Media Group production. Again, thanks to our guest, Mr. Colin. Thank you so very much for making it possible. And of course, that's the son to the father, Mr. Copeland Forbes. And you may know, the son is definitely walking in the footsteps of his dad, because what the dad did was, you heard what he said, which is very profound. He said he wanted to give his kids an opportunity, so he went back home and married to his son mother, so he could get them here. So he's a father, he's a friend, a producer, a promoter, a dancer, ladies and gentlemen, an icon. Mr. Copeland Forbes, OD. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I want to thank you all for being here today. I know you have a lot of places, a lot of social media platform you could go to, a lot of websites you could go to, but you still can stay with us here. What we're going to do, we're going to go over to flexfm.online because we're getting off the social media platform now, but we're going to go over to flexfm.online where we're going to show you a bit of the Japan splash that Mr. Forbes, I knew it, that he had to be a part of that. Because hey, listen, it's that familiar face that you would see back then and you will see now. But again, with the humility that this man have, you will not see him at the front of the stage, but more so behind the scene. Those are the ones that making it possible. Those who you cannot see, ladies and gentlemen. For real. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Of course, Colin, thanks again, my brother. It's been a pleasure. Miss Finn, thank you so very much. Slash Roland, that's Schoolers, Mad Love, Uton, and of Kojo, Julian Lee, Early Meds, I haven't seen you in a while. King God Almighty, Sister Aya. Just big up everybody online. Whatever platform you're watching from, mad love, mad respect. I thank you guys so very much for being here. Don't forget, for the entire month of February, we'll be saluting greats like Mr. Copeland, Colin Forbes. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, this coming Monday, ladies and gentlemen, my special guest will be Coco T. This coming Monday, I'll be talking with Coco T. So make sure that you're here between 12 and 2, all right? All right. Until then, have yourself a great one, man. And I'll see you on the flip side. This has been, what? Another Flex TV production. Ladies and gentlemen, bless you.
Ooh, well. just shining light. Prophecy fulfilled, yeah. Oh, judgment day. Oh, judgment day. Every day is just another judgment day.
Hey, it's your boy TC Flex representing Flex FM.
We're the survivors. Oh, 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 oh.
Hi, I'm Nigel Blair, studio host for FLEXX FM Sports, coverage of CASA, Caribbean America's Soccer Association League. Don't forget to subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and to be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on FLEXX FM Sports for live coverage of all matches.